The 2010s were a period of wildly stacked super teams, shifting power dynamics between players and ownership, some of the greatest rivalries in NBA history, and iconic moments we all go back and watch on YouTube. But at times, what's discussed the most are the moments that make fans pause and wonder, what if? What if the history books could tell a different story? What if key events unfolded just slightly differently? Fortunately for us, the 2010s delivered an abundance of alternate timelines, each with the potential to rewrite legacies and shatter what you thought you knew about the NBA during an era where it felt like no stone was unturned by the media in the 2010s. Today, we're diving into part 1 of the 6 biggest what-ifs of the 2010s. Scenarios that could have completely changed the NBA as we know it. These are not just hypotheticals, they're turning points. Moments where everything almost went in a completely different direction. Starting with number 6. What if Carmelo Anthony waited to join the New York Knicks? In the 2010 to 2011 NBA season, Carmelo Anthony was one of the best scorers in basketball. Melo was a true franchise cornerstone, but he wanted out of Denver. His desire to play in the Big Apple, specifically for the New York Knicks, became an open secret, escalating into a firm trade request. Anthony wasn't just flirting with the idea, he was actively pushing for a move, even suggesting he'd accept a trade to the neighboring, less glamorous New Jersey Nets if a deal with the Knicks couldn't materialize swiftly. Driven by a fear of missing out or Anthony landing with the Nets, the Knicks pushed all of their chips to the center of the table. They orchestrated a blockbuster multiplayer trade, sending nearly all of their valuable assets, including promising young players like Danilo Gallinari and Wilson Chandler, and solid contributors like Raymond Felton and Timothy Mozgov, plus draft picks to the Denver Nuggets, to secure their man before the trade deadline. On the surface, it was a major move by New York. The Knicks instantly had 2 players ranked among the league's top 6 scorers that season in Melo and Amari Stoudemire. However, the cost of acquiring Anthony when they did proved to be crippling. In their eagerness to land Melo immediately, the Knicks gutted their roster depth and stripped themselves of future flexibility. The very pieces that could have formed a strong supporting cast around Anthony and Stoudemire were now wearing Nuggets uniforms. The trade, thanks to Melo's impatience, had handcuffed them from the start, leaving them perpetually top-heavy and lacking the necessary complementary pieces. Ironically, the Denver Nuggets, armed with assets acquired from New York, flourished. In the 2012 to 2013 season, led by coach George Karl, and featuring standout performances from former Knicks, Denver won a remarkable 57 games. They became one of those rare, exciting teams that thrived without a traditional superstar, boasting an incredible 38-3 home record, the best in the NBA that year. They showcased the depth and balance that the Knicks had sacrificed. Now imagine an alternate timeline. What if Carmelo Anthony had simply played out his season in Denver and signed with the Knicks as a free agent in the summer of 2011? New York would have kept their valuable young players and draft picks. They would have added Anthony to a core that already included Stoudemire, Gallinari, Chandler, and Felton. This would have created a team with significantly more depth, versatility, and firepower. And here's the best part for Knicks fans. They could have used those retained assets to pursue another superstar to pair with Melo and Amari. Rumors swirled at the time about Chris Paul's desire to team up with his close friend Carmelo in New York. With their full complement of assets intact, the Knicks would have been in a prime position to make such a landscape-altering move. Number 5. What if LeBron James stayed in Cleveland in 2010? July 8th, 2010, a moment that is seen by many as the point that ushered in the quote player empowerment era. ESPN aired The Decision, a televised special where LeBron James, a man who is essentially synonymous with Ohio basketball, announced he was taking his talents to South Beach. to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on the Miami Heat. The decision sent shockwaves through the league, instantly creating a polarizing super team. And yes, it was a super team. And the move left Cleveland heartbroken and reeling. But what if that broadcast had ended differently? What if LeBron, facing immense pressure but weighing his loyalty to home, had done what many fans thought he was going to do all along and had chosen to stay with the Cavaliers? Let's explore that alternate universe and look at some realistic moves that could have been made to make the Cavaliers a viable finals contender in the early 2010s. Just 1 year later, Cleveland, who did this in real life anyways, trades Mo Williams and Jamario Moon to the Clippers and gets back Baron Davis and a first-round pick. That pick, it becomes Kyrie Irving. Now LeBron has a dynamic young point guard beside him, and with the new 2011 CBA to wipe Anton Jamison's $15 million off the books, creating cap space. Then, in 2012, the Cavaliers could have potentially packaged some existing pieces. Perhaps veterans like Delonte West and Daniel Gibson, along with a draft pick, go to Houston. In return, they'd get Kyle Lowry, only 25 years old, already a bulldog on defense, and the perfect complement to Kyrie's skills. Fast forward to the summer of 2013, and now, with cap space available, the Cavaliers would be set up to target a high-impact free agent. In reality, Andre Iguodala, known at the time for his elite perimeter defense, playmaking ability, and relentless energy, would complete a sign-and-trade to go from the Denver Nuggets to the Warriors that summer, after turning down a $60 million offer from Denver because he was looking for a better fit for his game. So, if Cleveland offered a chance to play alongside of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, forming a potential powerhouse in a weaker Eastern Conference, would he not have been tempted? Iggy would bring championship pedigree and a versatile skill set, precisely the kind of player who thrives alongside of LeBron, a high IQ, unselfish, defensive-minded wing who doesn't need the ball constantly to make an impact. That's a core of LeBron, Kyrie, Lowry, and Iguodala for the 2013 to 2014 season. This team possesses elite talent, defensive versatility, playmaking, and scoring. While LeBron was winning his first two championships in Miami in real time, this hypothetical Cleveland squad would have been right there, battling for Eastern Conference supremacy and potentially NBA titles. Winning those championships in Cleveland would have resonated differently, fulfilling the promise of bringing a title home years earlier, and perhaps altering the entire narrative surrounding LeBron's legacy. The decision became a defining moment, but the decision not to leave would have created an equally compelling and perhaps more celebrated chapter in LeBron's career. Number 4. What if James Harden was never traded away from the Oklahoma City Thunder? General manager Sam Presti had masterfully assembled an amazing core through the draft of the late 2000s, hitting consecutive home runs by selecting Kevin Durant in 2007, Russell Westbrook in 2008, and James Harden in 2009. This trio, brimming with talent, athleticism, and potential, quickly transformed the Thunder into contenders. Their win totals climbed steadily each year, culminating in a trip to the 2012 NBA Finals, where they fell to LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Despite the loss, the future looked blindingly bright for the small market squad. This appeared to be the dawn of a dynasty. But in 2012, the Oklahoma City Thunder traded James Harden to the Houston Rockets, over just $4 million. Think about that. This was a team that had just gone to the NBA Finals. They had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Harden, who was then the sixth man of the year. What followed next is almost unbelievable. Within the next 6 years, each member of that original young Thunder core blossomed into an individual force of nature, each reaching the pinnacle of the sport by winning an MVP award. Kevin Durant won his in 2014 with OKC, averaging the most points per game by an MVP since Michael Jordan in 1988. Then Russell Westbrook, who remained with the Thunder for the longest out of the three, won his MVP in 2017, while averaging a triple-double over an entire season for the first time since 1962. And finally, there was James Harden, who was unleashed as a primary offensive engine in Houston, and he won his MVP in 2018, embarking on scoring tears only matched by Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. The individual success was incredible, but it has forced us to ask the question, what could have been achieved if they stayed together? If the Thunder ownership had bridged that small financial gap, and if they had kept their homegrown Big Three intact, what heights could have been reached? The dynamics would have been fascinating. Durant, the lethal scorer and closer, Westbrook, the explosive triple-double machine, and Harden, a crafty playmaker who would probably most resemble his style during his brief time with the Brooklyn Nets, where he looked like a discount New Age Magic Johnson with the ball in his hands. Could three high-usage alpha personalities coexist long-term? Would egos clash? Or would they have shared history with complementary skills forging an unbreakable bond? We'll never know for sure, but the potential was immense. James Harden himself has weighed on this, while acknowledging that staying in OKC as the sixth man might have initially limited his personal growth compared to his explosion in Houston. He firmly believes that the team's success would have followed. He'd say on a podcast in 2024, if the Thunder would have stayed together instead of being broken up over $4 million, we would have won 2 chips at least. Trading Harden saved the Thunder's owners some money in the short term, but it likely cost them multiple championships and a chance to be remembered as one of the greatest dynasties the league has ever seen. That's it for part 1. What do you guys think? What are some of your favorite what-ifs of this decade? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to check back here on the channel for part 2, which will be coming out in the coming days. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.